November 2nd, 2025. The Jacksonville Jaguars are trading the Las Vegas Raiders 6-0. There's 4 seconds left in the first half, and the Jaguars have the ball on their own 44-yard line. This should be it. They'll head to the locker room down by a score. Instead, the Jaguars are sending out the field goal unit. Cam Little jogs out to attempt a 68-yard field goal, 2 yards longer than the standing NFL record. The announcers are in disbelief. It's a prayer from well beyond midfield, a total desperation heave. Little steps into it. The ball flies, and it sails through the uprights with room to spare. The longest field goal in NFL history. A 68-yard bomb that redefines what is possible. Now, what if a kicker could hit 90-yard field goals? What if a college prospect showed up who didn't just have a strong leg, he had a 90-yard cannon with near-perfect accuracy? A player who looks at Cam Little's record-shattering kick and calls it a chip shot. I mean, he's purely hypothetical, but his impact on the game would be devastatingly real. How would this one player, this single random variable, completely break the sport of football? The end of football as we know it. Let's call him Logan McCracken. He's a college junior, and scouts are flocking to his games, not for the quarterback, but to watch him warm up. They watch as he backs up to his own 30-yard line and effortlessly launches footballs through the uprights at the other end of the field. And he doesn't miss. His confirmed in-game success rate from 80-plus yards is 90%. The first thing to understand is that with a player like this, the entire concept of field position just evaporates. Right now, offenses scratch and claw for every single yard. They fight their way to get into scoring position, which is generously defined as the opponent's 40-yard line. For Logan McCracken's team, they're in scoring position the moment he steps off the sideline. The first and most obvious casualty of this new reality, the punt. It's obsolete. Why would you ever punt again? Analytics already push teams to be more aggressive on 4th down, but this breaks the models entirely. The point of a punt is to flip field position and pin your opponent deep. But when your opponent has Logan, pinning them on their own 10-yard line is completely meaningless. They're already in field goal range. For Logan's team, punting becomes an act of strategic malpractice. The data is simple. A punt gives the other team the ball for 0 points. A 90-yard field goal attempt with 90% accuracy has an expected points value of 2.7 every single time. 3rd and long at your own 20? That's not a drive killer anymore. It's just a setup for the most reliable play in football. The playbook shrinks. On 4th down, you could go for it or send in Logan and collect your 3 points. This one player has made an entire phase of the game totally irrelevant. This shatters the core metric of modern football analytics. Expected points added, or EPA, tells us the value of any given play by measuring how it changes a team's odds of scoring. A 15-yard gain on 1st down, high EPA. An interception, catastrophically negative EPA. In Logan's world, an incomplete pass on 3rd and 15 from his own 25-yard line has a neutral, maybe even positive EPA, because it just brings his team one play closer to a near guaranteed 3 points. He's a walking kicking cheat code that breaks the very math of the game. The strategic arms race. Once this new reality sinks in, the ripple effects force a strategic arms race that changes how the game is even played. If you're an offensive coordinator, what do? The question becomes a philosophical crisis. Do you play ultra-conservatively? Just run the ball 3 times, avoid a turnover at all costs, and then send in Logan to collect your 3 points? You could, in theory, win a game 15-14 without ever completing a forward pass. It would be the most boring, yet brutally effective offense in history. Or do you go the other way? Do you become hyper-aggressive? If you know an incomplete pass on any down from anywhere on the field is just a prelude to 3 points, what's stopping you from taking a deep shot on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down? The only truly negative play is a turnover. A sack is bad, but it just means Logan is kicking a 78-yarder instead of a 70-yarder, irrelevant to him. An interception, however, could be a game-killing disaster. All of a sudden, ball security isn't just a point of emphasis, it's the only thing that matters. And what about the defense? How do you even start to prepare for this? Normally, a field goal block team is formality. You send 4 or 5 guys with the vague hope of getting a hand on it. But against Logan, this isn't just a field goal attempt, it's the central offensive play. So, how do you counter that? Do you send the house? Put 10 men on the line to try and overwhelm his protection? If you do, you're opening yourself up to the easiest fake in football history. The offense lines up for a 75-yarder. The defense sells out, sending 10 players screaming at the ball. But wait, the holder just flips it to a tight end who was pretending to block. With the entire defense crashing the line, he's wide open for a walk-in touchdown. Every field goal attempt becomes a horrifying game of chicken for the defensive coordinator. You're forced to choose between conceding 3 points or risking 7. It's a strategic nightmare with no right answer. So we've broken offense, defense, and the entire idea of field position. But the ripple effects would go even deeper. This player wouldn't just change team strategy. He would force the NFL to rewrite its own rulebook. Before we get into how this would literally change the rules of the game, if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Breaking the game itself. The value of this player would fundamentally warp team building. Logan McCracken isn't some 7th round flyer a team takes a chance on. He is the undisputed first overall pick in the NFL draft. He's worth as much as any franchise quarterback, maybe more. Quarterbacks win championships, but Logan guarantees you're in a position to win every single game. The roster built around him changes too. Your long snapper is now one of the most critical players on the team, as well as the holder. You would draft players specifically for their ability to block field goals or rush the kicker, creating a whole new class of positional archetypes. This is when the NFL is forced to step in. The league has a history of changing rules to nerf players who are so dominant they break the competitive balance. For Logan, a change would be unavoidable. The most likely fix? Narrowing the goalposts. Or perhaps the NFL mandates that you can only attempt a field goal from inside your opponent's 50-yard line. They would have to legislate his power out of existence, just to preserve the sport itself. A kicker who can hit 90-yard field goals doesn't just add a new weapon to the game, he creates an entirely new one. It's like adding a queen to a chessboard that can also move like a knight. The value of every other piece is instantly redefined. So, that's how one player could break football. What other unbreakable rules of sports do you think could be shattered by a single what if? Let me know in the comments below. And for more deep dives into sports hypotheticals, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.